What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a bunch of new Digimon from those starter decks that we need to have a little bit of a look at. We've got, by my calculation, 4 new cards to talk about today, 2 from each starter deck, though unfortunately one of them is a vanilla card, but it's not the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be okay. Translations here from the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming, and by now you know I'm a pretty big fan of the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. So we might as well start off with that Wizardmon then. What we've got here is what looks to be a 6 cost to play normally. The watermark's unfortunately been added right over the top of the card. 6,000 power and 2 cost to Digivolve from either purple or yellow because it is a dual type purple and yellow card. Okay. I mean, there's not really a huge amount going on here. The stats are fine. But honestly, 662 is about right for a level 4. I mean, it is on the higher end of cost and power, but it's nothing particularly unusual. Essentially, this is a dual-type Digimon. And there's nothing terribly special about it, except for the fact that it is a dual type. It reminds me very much of the security Digimon that came around in BT2. Those security Digimon aren't particularly good, their stats aren't particularly good, Angliamon would be an example. It just so happens that they are, well, security Digimon. And they weren't good security Digimon, but they were security Digimon. And then over time we got better security Digimon that completely outclass them. That's essentially where we're going here. It's a dual type, it's not a great dual type, we'll get more, and when we get more, this will end up seeing almost no play. But we've also got a new Tailmon coming in here, 5 cost to play normally, 4,000 power, 3 cost to Digivolve from either yellow or purple, because it is a dual type yellow and purple Digimon. And I don't know how I feel about the fact that Wizardmon has purple on the left, whereas Tailmon has purple on the right. That's a little bit weird to me, and I'm not sure I'm okay with it. But we've got an inheritable and a non-inheritable skill here as well. Incidentally, this used to be really rare in the early days of the game. It's becoming way more common as the game progresses, and I am down with it. So what we've got here is a skill whereby when you play it, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you may add 1 purple and yellow Digimon card among them to your hand, returning the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order you like. Now, I'm not 100% sure here whether this is actually you get a yellow and a purple, or you get a yellow and a purple, but I believe it is 1 purple and 1 yellow. I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, but either way, it's one of those whereby when you play it, and it is play, not evolve, so you've got to pay the 5 cost to hardcast it, then at that stage you actually do get to do a little bit of extra search, which is rather lovely. We then have a skill whereby on your turn, when this Digimon is evolving into an Archangel or Fallen Angel type Digimon, you reduce its evolution cost by 2. So essentially here's your level 4, as you're going up into your level 5 you're reducing the cost by 2, which means it's realistically going to turn into a 1 cost to Digivolve, and that's clearly a brilliant thing. 1 cost to Digivolve is awesome, it's really good for a level 5, so this is something we should all honestly be pretty gosh darn happy about. This is good, ladies and gentlemen, this is very cool. Now in terms of level 5 Angels and Archangels we've got at the moment, we're talking things like Magna Angemon would be an example, Angel Woman would be an example, Lady Devamon would be an example. We're talking about those kind of Digimon. So, it's good. And again, it really depends on what kind of deck you're playing, what kind of Digimon you're playing, etc. But the fact of the matter is, what we've got here is just a really big bonus when we are evolving into, well, our next stage of Digimon. This is a really cool thing indeed. And then we have an inheritable skill to look at as well here. At the end of your turn, this Digimon and your other Digimon can Jogress evolve into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its cost. And this is a really weird skill. Now, Jogress, we talked about the other day when we talked about Mastermon. Essentially, you take 2 Digimon, you combine them together into one stack, and then you add the new Digimon on top of it. One thing I do need to point out from last week, because I did make a small mistake, which has since been corrected. The information I had at the time I recorded the video didn't tell me this, but I've since learned it, so I can add it in now. When your Jogress evolve, you essentially get to attack and activate again. So when you're mashing 2 Digimon into one, you don't lose an attack. You're attacking with 1 rather than 2. You gain an attack. So you can attack with both of your Digimon, then Jogress evolve, and attack again. Although obviously you've got to be careful, because if you attack into the stack and then get deleted, you might not have 2 Digimon to mash together. You have been warned. Obviously you're evolving at the end of your turn here, so that's less of an issue, because it's too late to attack at that point. But this is really, really cool. And what this does is it opens up options, both in terms of playing and deck building. You take 2 Digimon, whack them together, evolve into another Digimon by paying its cost, and you are good to go. And it's all getting kind of complicated, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of love it. I think this is really fun. I love the idea that I can be like, right, well, I've got this dude, and I've got another dude, and I've got one in my hand I actually want to play, so let's just mash them together, Jogress Evolution, and off we go. I really like this. Now, moving over into the blue and green Digimon, we have had confirmation. I mean, look, as soon as we knew they were dual colors, we knew the starter deck was an Imperial Dramon deck. We kind of knew it was going to be blue and green. Nice to have official confirmation, though. And what we've got here is a Pale Dramon, 8 cost to play normally, 4 cost to Digivolve from either blue or green, 8,000 power, and it is a dual type blue and green Digimon, which of course is exactly what we would expect. Now, Pale Dramon here does not have an inheritable skill, but it does have 2 regular skills, so I think we can let it off. Now, it does have Jogress Evolution, blue level 4, plus green level 4. What that means is, if you've got a blue and a green level 4 on your field, you can combine them together to make this Digimon. You do not have to pay in order to do that. And as I said a moment ago, after doing that, you can evolve with Pale Dramon, even if you've attacked with both the level 4s before. Again, be careful, because if you attack with a level 4 and it gets deleted by a security Digimon, that is going to mean you can't actually do the evolution. You have been warned. But essentially, this is going to give you so much more. Because essentially, when your opponent's looking at your side of the board, they're going to have to go, right, well, they got 2 Digimon. Oh, but Jogress Evolution is the thing. That can actually give them 3 attacks. That is going to change the maths. It's going to change how you react to your opponent. It's going to make things very, very fun indeed. And I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in for it. I'm excited. I am, to be blunt, ready to go. Now, we've also got a couple of other skills here. When you're evolving, if it was a Jogress Evolution, choose one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 power or less, return it to the bottom of their deck. And again, this might not be huge, or it might get rid of the Digimon they were working on. It might get rid of the biggest threat. It might get rid of one with some good evolution skills, etc. I can't guarantee this is always going to be a game-winning play, but I absolutely can tell you that this is often going to be a rather huge advantage. And when you are attacking once per turn, you can make this Digimon active. And when combined with Jogress Evolution, that is nuts. Because essentially you attack with a level 4, attack with the other level 4. Then you Jogress Evolution, oh, I've evolved, now I can attack again. Then you make yourself active and you can attack again. And essentially what we've got here is 2 Digimon that between them can roll off 4 attacks. Also, something I didn't mention before, so worth mentioning now, it's evolution. Obviously, you get to draw a card, but you get to draw a card despite having paid no memory. This is clearly another huge advantage. So, you don't have an inheritable skill, but actually, I'm starting to be A-okay with this, because like I say, you attack with each of them. Jogress Evolution always makes you active so you can attack again. Then, when you attack, you make yourself active. 2 Digimon, 4 attacks. That is nuts. And then we can finish with a little bit of the old Dino Beamon. Now, once again, Dino Beamon's got a Jogress Evolution Blue level 4 plus Green level 4. I don't need to talk about this much. We just talked about it quite a bit with Paildramon. Take 2 level 4s, mash them together, draw a card, make yourself active, attack 3 times the 2 Digimon. Life is good. But when you are evolving, you may choose one of your opponent's Digimon and rest it. If this Digimon Jogress evolved, the targeted Digimon cannot be put active during your opponent's next active phase. And I think this is actually kind of cool, because what I'm seeing here is this is clearly a green skill. The whole suspend your opponent's Digimon, they don't unsuspend, that is a green skill. Whereas returning cards to your opponent's hand is really a blue skill, so Paildramon seems to have blue on the left, green on the right, because it's more of a blue Digimon, and Dino Beamon seems to have green on the left, blue on the right, because it's more of a green Digimon. I actually really like that. I think that's a really cool way to do it. I'm fairly sure that's deliberate and intentional, and I am into it, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually extremely cool. So yeah, this is really cool. We've seen this before. Mega Gargamon is one that I have very much enjoyed playing with over in green, whereby you get to rest one of your opponent's Digimon and they don't, or suspend it, and they don't unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase. We've all played around with Puppetmon that suspends one but then stops all of them unsuspending. Puppetmon's one, maybe my favourite card we've had in the game. I love Puppetmon. So my point is, this is a cool skill. It's rarely game breaking, but it's one of those where if you time it really well, you can essentially turn off their best Digimon for a turn, and that can be a game-winning skill. And then there's an inheritable skill whereby on your turn, this Digimon gains 1,000 power for each colour this Digimon has. I.e., it gains 1,000 power if you evolve it into a monotype, but it gains 2,000 power if you evolve it into a dual type. Maybe in the future we get Digimon that have more than 2 colours, and that would be awesome, but generally speaking, it gives you extra power, but it gives you an extra little boost if you play dual color Digimon. That's essentially where they're going here, which I really appreciate. I like that. If you evolve it into a green or a blue, which is absolutely what you can do, you'll get the extra 1,000 power, and that's lovely. But if you evolve it into a dual type green and blue, you get an extra 2,000 power, and frankly, ladies and gentlemen, that is better. So there we go, lots of cool Digimon, dual color Digimon, things to get a little bit excited about. I'm going to be honest with you, these green and blue dudes excite me a lot more than the purple and yellow, but I suppose we'll have to see as time goes by. For now, I want to know what you think about them, so let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.